What's going on, ladies? This is Marciea.
And Brittany.
And we're back at you here with another episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. And today we have a good one for you. Today we're going to talk about 6 common fitness mistakes.
So the big question is this: how were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are Lady Strong Fitness.
Hey, ladies, we're back at you again with another episode. As always, I am super excited to talk about today's topic. How about you, Brittany?
Excited.
Very much so. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's not waste any time. Let's talk about number 1, the most common fitness mistakes. And again, I have my handy dandy notes so that way we don't forget anything here. And number 1 is sloppy form and or technique when it comes to performing the Lady Strong Fitness exercises inside the studio. We find sometimes that some people have a tendency to rush through their form versus slowing things down, being very methodical about their technique.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I think that sometimes when you get into HIIT training, people just assume you gotta go fast to get good results, and that's not necessarily true. And I think that's kind of coming to fruition in the tempo training with the strong curve because they're really being forced to slow down and focus on their form. So I just think that when you get into a HIIT environment, the energy is there and everybody's moving and you feel like you need to be moving, but at the end of the day, if you sacrifice form for speed, your body's gonna lose everything.
100%. I'm glad that you brought the strong her up because we are going through phase number 3 and we're focusing on tempo. And I don't want to touch too much on it, but for those that maybe don't know what tempo training is and they're on the fence about joining the strong her, would you kind of paint a picture for them?
Yes, I mean the strong her program is just really technique, form, quality over quantity, strength training. That's in a nutshell. It's really what it is. It's just a time for you to slow your movements down and really focus on your form.
Love it. Cool. You want to talk about number 2?
Number 2 is no structure, meaning like you're just kind of going to the gym and you're just randomly walking around sitting on random pieces of equipment, or you're just going to the gym and just walking on the treadmill for 30 minutes and leaving, right? You don't really have a structure, and that can come with no goal. Like if you don't really have an end game in mind and you're just telling yourself, well, I know I need to work out because that's what I know I'm supposed to do, then that's kind of working backwards. You should really have a plan when you go into a workout. You should have a plan when you go into a weight loss or strength training goal. That way you have some kind of structure.
Yeah. The nice thing about the LSF and the Lady Strong Tri Training Solutions workout, you take the guesswork out of it, which means that everything is already planned for you accordingly. All you have to do is show up.
Yeah, true.
Cool. Number 3?
Go ahead.
All right. No enjoyment while working out. It's just boredom. And that could be a multitude of different things. Perhaps you're doing the same thing day in and day out, right? Another reason is that maybe you don't have an accountability partner, someone to push you, or a coach or a friend, and you're just trying to do this journey alone, right? Any other input on that as well?
I just think that number 2 and number 3 go together. I think when you don't have any structure, your workouts will get boring because you just are doing this, you likely are doing the same thing over and over and over again because it's what's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
So I think that number 2 with no structure and number 3 with no enjoyment definitely go hand in hand.
Yeah, you hear a lot of ladies that come into the program, they said, I used to hate working out. I never liked it. And now it's like, I look forward to my workouts now.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show there was something maybe perhaps that they were doing in the past that wasn't working for them. And just that slight adjustment and or change made a significant impact within their fitness and wellness journey, correct?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go on.
Number 4 is no intensity or your workouts are too easy. And I honestly think that also ties back to number 2 with no structure is when you don't have structure, you don't push yourself. You don't have a goal in mind. You just take it easy because you're either A, afraid of pushing yourself too hard, B, you start to get a little out of breath and you get scared, so you slow down. So if you don't have any structure to your workouts, you're not gonna even have any intensity. And if your workouts are too easy, you're not gonna get results.
Yeah. And let's just say for people that do have structure, let's relate this to people that are coming inside the program at Lady Strong Fitness and they're just not pushing themselves hard enough. They're not picking up that extra weight, that heavier weight. And that's why we have our coaches to be able to provide that accountability so that way they're able to intensify their workouts. So you could have the structure, but it's not necessarily workouts or the exercise that you're doing is too easy because you're not challenging yourself hard enough.
Yeah. And I think too is that there's a difference between not challenging yourself because maybe you have a limitation or an injury, right? So there are certain circumstances and situations that, may limit you from going super intense in your workouts, but as long as you're showing up, it's important. But if you're lacking intensity just out of pure laziness, that's the difference. You get out of it what you put into it. That's really.
I'm glad that you said that. In other words, you're being very nice about it. I told someone before, keeping names out of it, but I said, how do you say? You said the effort you put into it is the effort that you get out of it. Yeah. I say it, quote unquote. I said if you half-ass it, you get half-ass results. That's just me. It just depends on who you are, but in other words, it's the same thing. Yeah. So, all right, cool. Moving on. Where are we? Number 5?
Yeah.
Number 5, don't make excuses. I don't have time. Making excuses. And I like to tie this to, I'll give you guys an analogy, I have kids, I don't know if I can find the time to work out. We have some moms that come in before their kids are even up in the morning, right? They come early at 5 a.m. while their kids are still in bed, right? That's no excuses. And somebody's like, well, I can't get up that early. It's creating that habit. You might not be accustomed to getting up that early, but it's starting a new habit that will allow you to continue as you progress throughout this journey.
Yeah, I think that with time, everybody's like, I'm not a morning person. It's like, what's a choice? It's a choice to not be a morning person. It's a choice to not work out at night. You're choosing, right? You're choosing what's most important to you when you choose to sleep in or you choose to get up and go work out, right? So I think that there are certain circumstances, and we're always compassionate to certain circumstances that do limit people from coming in and working out. But then we also have some ladies that we see that literally just, like I think of the Richies, work 12-hour days, sun up to sundown, grooming dogs, but yet they still find a way to come in.
Shout out to the Richies.
So I think that there is a lot of, I think about Margaret and Joanna. They leave their kids at home in the morning to come here at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I know they always have their phones with them, and they're always like waiting for their kids to call and wake up. So it's like everybody makes it work with their own lifestyle. You just have to make the choice.
100%.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. And last but not least, questions. I like this one because there's no such thing as a silly questions. Don't be afraid to ask. You don't know what you don't know. So don't, again, take the guesswork out of it and leave it up to the experts and really be reliant and dependent on your coaches.
Yeah. I think it's just basically don't be afraid to ask questions. Like if you're not feeling something where you think you should, if you're not getting the results that you want to be getting, if you're, read this online, but hear another thing and you need an opinion about what's right or what's wrong for you. You got to ask questions. Don't go at this alone. Find somebody to go in it with you.
Love it. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in on another episode of Lady Strong Fitcast. Have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.